Picture this: a young man in a black graduation gown walking across a stage at Federal University of Technology Achara, certificate in hand, his family screaming his name from the crowd. It looks like any other graduation, but if you look closely at his left leg, you will see a faint silver mark, a scar that has been there since the day he was born, a scar his family begged the spirit world to leave behind as a proof that this time he had finally chosen to stay. Because before Chidera, death had already visited that family 4 times. 4 babies had been born, 4 babies had died within days. He was the 5th child to come into that family, and what happened next is a story that many in Igboland have never forgotten. To understand how he got there, we have to go back to a woman named Eliza, and a grief no mother should ever have to carry 4 times. In the heart of Igboland, some mysteries are too heavy for words. They are whispered around evening fires, carried by the wind and stamped into the very flesh of the living. This is a true story of Eliza, a woman whose womb became a battlefield between the land of the living and the realm of the spirits. 4 times Eliza felt the kick of life inside her. 4 times she endured the pain of childbirth. And 4 times, within just days of bringing her babies home, the cold hands of death snatched them away. 4 innocent children gone before they could even be named, gone before the village could finish preparing the palm wine for their naming ceremonies. Each time, Eliza's cry echoed through the compound. Each time the women came to sit with her, to weep with her, to wrap her in wrappers and prayers. But by the 4th time, even the most faithful among them began to whisper a hard truth. This was not ordinary sorrow. Something else was at work. By the 4th death, the village elders knew this was not ordinary tragedy. In Igbo tradition, when a mother repeatedly loses her children in this manner, suspicion turns to the Ogbanje, a spirit child who deliberately circles between birth and death to torment his family, slipping out of the world again and again, never intending to stay. To break the cycle, the elders decided to play a dangerous game with the spirit realm. Before Eliza's 4th baby was laid to rest in the red earth, an elder stepped forward. With a steady hand, he inflicted a distinct, unmistakable mark right on the dead infant's left leg. They whispered to the corpse, "If you return, let us know it is you. But if you come back, come to stay." It was an old and dangerous practice, one not every family dared to attempt, because to mark the spirit was also to challenge it, to tell it plainly that its game had been seen. The elders who performed it did so with heavy hearts, knowing they may have just declared war on something far older, far darker than themselves. Months passed in silence. Eliza's body healed, but her spirit remained somewhere between grief and dread. Then, one harvest season, the news spread like wildfire through the village. Eliza was pregnant again. But there was no celebrations. No one prepared baby clothes. No elder offered a blessing in the open. Eliza herself lived in a state of suspended animation, neither happy nor sad. Her heart had been broken too many times to risk hope again. The villagers watched her belly grow with a mixture of pity and fear, counting the moans under their breath, waiting to see whose prophecy would be proven right. Even Eliza's husband could not bring himself to speak the child's gender or guess at a name. To name something in those days was to invite it to stay, and no one was certain this time that staying was what was coming. When the time came, Eliza didn't give birth at home as she had before. She was taken to the government hospital in the village, perhaps out of a quiet hope that modern medicine might succeed where tradition alone had failed 4 times already. The cries of a newborn shattered the tension in the delivery room. It was a healthy baby. For one fragile moment, something in Eliza allowed itself to hope. But the real shockwave hit when the nurse cleaned the child. Word traveled out of the ward straight into the village square before the placenta had even been buried. There, right on the baby's left leg, was the exact same mark given to the dead fourth child. The same size, the same place, as though no time had passed at all. The elders were vindicated. The skeptics were silenced. It was an Ogbanje, what the Yorubas call Abiku, the very same spirit. The village agreed had returned once more to test the family's strength. The elders knew that the mark alone couldn't hold the child to the physical world. A name and a scar were not enough to bind a spirit that had already proven 4 times over that it answered to no one. The spirit would try to pull back as it always had. Armed with the truth of the mark, a delegation of elders traveled to a neighboring village to see a great native doctor, a man known across many villages for his power to negotiate with what could not be seen. The kind of man whose name was spoken carefully and only when necessary. You may never know exactly what spiritual prices were paid, what items were carried into the shrine under cover of darkness, or what words passed through the elders and the unseen that night. Such things are not meant for every ear, and the men who went never spoke fully of it again, even to their own wives. But whatever happened in that sacred space worked. The child's contract with the dead, it seemed, had finally been broken. The days passed. The 40th day came and went without a cry of mourning in the night, without a tiny body wrapped in white. The villagers who had once counted the days in fear now rejoiced, for the child who had been expected to live had remained among the living. The child who was written off by death is now writing his own future. His name is Chidera, meaning what God has written. It was a name chosen deliberately, a quiet declaration to both the living and the spirit that this child's story belonged to no one but God himself. Today, the spirit child who refused to stay has grown into a man of destiny. Chidera, as is fondly called, had walked into the stages of a graduate, his certificate in hand. The mark on his leg now faded to little more than a pale silver thread, a quiet signature of everything his family survived to see him standing there. A lying testament to the deep, unyielding mysteries of Igboland, where the spirit and the physical dance in ways the modern world is trying to understand. Thank you for listening to this story from our land. What do you think about the mystery of the Ogbanje? Have you witnessed something like this in your own family or village? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love hearing the hidden stories, legends and mysteries of Igboland, please subscribe to Echoes of Igboland and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story from our heritage. Don't forget to like and share this video with someone who loves African history and culture. Until next time, Ode.